Welcome, students. Today, we step back into the Middle Ages, but leave your fairy tales at the door. Medieval life was less knights in shining armor, and more like living inside a never-ending horror film. And the villains weren't dragons or evil sorcerers, they were far closer to home. Let's begin with disease. Imagine waking up one morning to find that half of your neighbors are gone. Between 1340 and 1350, the Black Death swept across Europe, wiping out nearly half the population, around 25 to 50 million lives. Streets that once rang with laughter became silent graveyards where only rats dared to roam. And the plague wasn't alone. Leprosy slowly ate away at its victims, tuberculosis drowned lungs in blood, and dysentery ensured death came in the most humiliating way possible. The saddest part? People had no idea what caused it. They blamed bad smells, angry gods, even unlucky glances. Doctors prescribed bloodletting, mercury, or even crushed unicorn horn. In truth, the killers were everywhere: rats, fleas, and the mountains of human waste piled in the streets. Hygiene, as we know it, didn't exist. People rarely bathed, wearing the same clothes until they rotted away. Medieval towns were essentially giant petri dishes surrounded by stone walls. But disease was only one terror. Law and order in the Middle Ages often made death look merciful. Trial by ordeal meant proving your innocence by grabbing red-hot iron or being thrown into water. Float, and you were guilty. Sink, and you were innocent, but dead. Public executions drew larger crowds than modern football matches. Entire families gathered to watch hangings, beheadings, and even disembowelments, turning punishment into a grim form of entertainment. And what about the world itself? Nature had no mercy. The Little Ice Age froze crops year after year, causing the Great Famine of 1315. Millions starved. Families ate bark, grass, even leather shoes. Some turned to cannibalism. Wolves and boars prowled villages. Fires burned unchecked, and storms sank entire fleets without a trace. Survival often meant simply making it through the winter with all your fingers and toes. Food, when it existed, could kill you just as easily as starvation. Bread was padded with chalk, sand, and bones to make it stretch further. Rye was infected with a fungus that caused convulsions and hallucinations. Whole towns thought they were dancing with demons. Water was so filthy that even children drank beer instead. Spoiled meat, rotting fish, and milk gone sour were everyday meals for peasants who had no choice but to eat whatever was left. And let's not forget war. The 100 Years' War raged for, ironically, 116 years. Armies weren't made of professionals, but of desperate farmers handed weapons and told to kill other desperate farmers. Battles were brutal, wounds infected, and survival uncertain. Even in times of so-called peace, roads were haunted by bandits, pirates, and kidnappers. Violence wasn't just a risk, it was a daily companion. Finally, if by some miracle you survived disease, famine, war, and weather, your own home could still betray you. Medieval houses were wooden tinderboxes with straw roofs and open fires burning in the center. One spark, and your entire neighborhood vanished in flames. Fire safety, after all, had not yet been invented. So, when we imagine medieval life, let's be honest, it wasn't knights rescuing princesses or feasts in golden halls. For most people, it was about waking up each morning and hoping, just hoping, that today wouldn't be the day the plague arrived. A wolf prowled the door, or your roof caught fire. The Middle Ages were a world where survival itself was the greatest victory. And that, class, is why medieval life was far scarier than any castle dungeon.